What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. It is the night before game day. So, getting excited because such a short week, so much chaos in such a little amount of time. All you sickos out there, I know we were so excited for the season. A lot of things scaring some people, but look, week one, so let's all try to stay patient here, get excited here. Let's go get this W, go 2-0 here, and then have a nice long rest until we play Monday Night Football against the Buccaneers. So appreciate you tuning in here. This is not a live video, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. We're going to go through, talk about the top 10 matchups, but I want to give you the game status reports. We usually don't have this until Friday, and I do the top 10s on Thursday. So clearly a short week. We've got some extra information. So in case you missed that video, go check it out. Not only does it have the status reports, but it's got the updated depth charts, practice squad, all that stuff you need to know. So go check that one out. But without further ado, let's jump into this bad boy. We'll take a look at who both teams are missing and who they might be missing tomorrow in the Thursday night matchup. So the Eagles without Reed Blankenship, James Bradberry, and Kenny Gainwell. Now, Nakobe Dean was placed on IR, so we already knew about that one. And Fletcher Cox dealing with rib issues as well as Reed and Kenny there. And look, he's questionable. Talked about pain tolerance, so we'll see if he's able to go. But we're quite deep at D tackle. But the other positions, going to be interesting to see how we fill that out. We'll talk about that here tonight. And again, you want to see who the players are, the backups for the Eagles, go check out that video. Clearly, you probably know most of them, but if you don't know the Vikings, you have that information too, their depth chart, all that stuff you need to know. But you can see Garrett Bradberry out. We talked about he went out in week one. So, look, they're going to have Austin Schlottman playing their center. Christian Darrisaw, their left tackle, is questionable. And then Marcus Davenport, he missed week one. So they're going to hope to have him for week two. A good addition for them. So they're hoping to get him for week two here against this Eagles offense. So I'll keep you up with all that stuff, but tomorrow I'm going to be traveling early, and then I'll be at the game, so you're going to get a pre-game show live from there, and then we'll talk a little bit post-game. Maybe we'll even talk when I get home, but it's probably going to be so late. I don't know that we'll do that, but I'll definitely be here for Fan Friday, game recap, all that stuff, so stay tuned throughout the next couple of days. I'll be keeping you up to date, but let's talk about this game, and let's talk about the top matchups, and luckily, I got this together with the assumption that a lot of these guys were out. So let's jump in and talk about this. And first up, I've got an honorable mention here. And, last week, Justin Evans was starting, and I thought, it should be Terrell Edmonds. But regardless of that, Evans did not look great out there. Now, Sidney Brown, I've talked about this a million times. You guys know I wanted him in this draft, but I talked about it. Very raw, needs some coaching up, going to take a little time before he becomes the starter, but he will be the starter with Reed Blankenship. Now, kind of need him a little bit sooner rather than later due to the fact that, well, you've got Evans and Edmonds here, and, usually this is Eagles versus the opposing team, but I need to see Sidney Brown showing against these two veteran guys what he can do. We don't know how long Reed's going to be out. Hopefully with this long break, he'll be back. But Sidney Brown, this is your chance to shine. Hopefully get some defensive reps out there. I do believe he will. Edmonds, as the guy that wasn't the starter, he was the third safety. He didn't see a lot of snaps. But look, Sidney Brown, he's got to make it happen. He's got to use these reps he gets. And we clearly need him on special teams, especially with the fact that Josh Jobe will be most likely starting, and he is one of our special teamers. So you don't want to lose Sidney Brown too much there. But look, regardless, I think a big opportunity, and hopefully he uses that sample he gets, that small size, I'm sure it will be. Hopefully he does some bright things there. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm a big fan, but I understand that he does need time. Just something I thought I would like to mention. Now let's jump in to this top 10, and we're going to talk about these matchups here, and I would love to hear your thoughts as I go through them. Let me know how you're feeling about these matchups. You got a different matchup, whatever's on your mind. But we talked about Austin Schlottman, and I honestly, as I said in the video earlier, think he's a better center than Bradberry, so not exactly a horrible move for them. I thought Ezra Cleveland did all right last week. Ingram, he is terrible. I'm just going to be real with you. And when you look at the Eagles here, oh, Jalen Carter in his first game, getting that sack, dominating 8 pressures. This dude, I just, you know how much I wanted him in this draft. And I cannot stress enough why I think he's going to demolish people. Now, the reason this is number 10 is because I don't think it's going to be such a great matchup for the Minnesota Vikings. I think that the Eagles are going to eat them alive. You had Jordan Davis even being part of that half a sack there with Josh Sweat. So these guys are looking to wreak havoc. Last year, Cox had 7 sacks, Williams with 4. So these guys can get to the quarterback. It's not always about that with interior linemen, but these guys can do so. And I'm looking forward to them continuing to do so, shutting down the run, getting to Kirk Cousins. So these guys, they gave up 2 sacks last week, Minnesota, to Tampa Bay. And I think we're a much better pass rush. So I think it's time to go dominate, ladies and gentlemen. Now, at number 9 here, I've got an intriguing one. Look, Kenny Gainwell, it was a surprise for everyone and their mother that he was the lead back at such a high pace. Look, to me, and they made it clear he was running back 1. But Swift and Penny, I thought, were going to be part of this, running back by committee. Unfortunately, Penny was inactive, and we only saw Swift get 1 carry, 1 catch for 0 yards. So, yeah, it was really weird. But I'm guessing you have Penny active here. I would use him over Boston Scott in a lot of certain situations. I thought we would not put our quarterback Jalen Hurts on the line there. But look, Swift and Penny, I think this is their chance to go out and shine. Kenny Gainwell out for this game. So let's go, baby. But they've got, a good defense there with Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings. But, Ivan Pace, actually, he did really well and had 8 tackles, led the team. I thought, he took over the job for Asamoah there. And you've got Jordan Hicks, who clearly ex-Eagle there. Loved that dude. But he is a stud as well. So going to be fun to watch how these backers and, obviously D lineman safeties, everybody has to stop all the offense. But, for matchup purposes, this is what we're talking about. And I think it's going to be fun to watch because the Eagles need to run that effing ball right down their throat. And, last week they took on Rashad White, who, he's a very versatile back and catch the ball. But, yeah, he only had like 39 yards, I think 10 receiving. So they were able to shut him down. They've got some good linebackers here. We'll see how they use them. But up next here at number 8, I've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and I think they're about to do some work here. You see Byron Murphy. That was a great addition for the Vikings. They've got Caleb Evans and Mekhi Blackman there. But 2 young guys there, Blackman, the rookie, Evans, second-year player. I think that these receivers, not just Brown and Smith, the other guys hopefully will be able to step it up. But both Brown and Smith had 7 receptions, 79 yards for A.J., 47 for Devontae, but Devontae had that touchdown. Beautiful. But last week, Mike Evans had 6 catches, only 66 yards. Godwin had 5 for 51. So, they made some catches, but overall they did all right. And, those are some pretty decent receivers. So they've got, Byron Murphy helping them out there a little bit, but I still think that these receivers should be able to do some work. Somebody's going over 100 here. Let's go whoop some ass. Looking forward to it. Let's go Birds. Now, up next at number 7, you've got Christian Darrisaw, who is questionable. We talked about Udo would step in there, and that would make things much more interesting. But you've also got Brian O'Neill at right tackle. Time for Reddick and Sweat to go feast. Sweat had that half of a sack. Unacceptable. I need to see more. Need to see them getting after. And look, I'll be real with you. Mac Jones was getting that damn ball out real quick. So that's a testament to what was going on in the game. But, man, Kirk Cousins, he doesn't necessarily get the ball out that quick. Maybe more like 3.5, 4 seconds. So I think for me, you should be able to get after him. They gave up 2 sacks. We talked about it earlier. The offensive line. So this D, man, and Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, maybe Nolan Smith get some reps there. So, hey, look, I'm ready for this rotation, all of them to go get some. But Reddick and Sweat, it's time to lead the way, baby. How about multiple sacks for both of them? Let's go. Up next at number 6, the guy that, where was he last week? Well, he was open a couple times, and Dallas Goedert, on my fantasy team, so it hurt watching it, and so was Jalen Hurts. So that was pretty rough for me. But they've got a great connection. I think that they know that they need to get him involved. So we're going to see some Dallas Goedert in this game. But look, we talked about Hicks. We talked about Pace. We've got decent linebackers there. But Smith and Bynum, Smith, he likes to creep down more. Bynum more of that free safety, more of that guy dropping deep. But he's great in coverage. He did well last week. So I think these two are both going to have, responsibility here to help out with Dallas Goedert in that middle there. So I'm looking forward to Dallas Goedert getting some work. I do not care who they have on him. Dallas Goedert is about to feast in this game. Let's go. Now jumping into the top 5 here at number 5, Kirk Cousins. Now, I think this dude is underrated. I think that, for me, obviously, we could talk about how in primetime he struggles, this, that, the other thing. But look, he's still a pretty good quarterback. He was 33 for 44 last week. He had 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. So, I mean, he, as much as you say he's serviceable, he's still a pretty good quarterback. And, we got to watch out for that dinking and dunking. We gave up like 316 to Mac Jones. So we don't want to see that. We want to get that pressure we talked about earlier. So shut him down. Don't allow this because we know who they've got. And we're going to be talking about them. Clearly, they're higher on this list. But, the thing for me is Zach Cunningham, Christian Ellis, Nicholas Morrow. Those are the 3 linebackers we've got. Who the hell is going to be your middle linebacker? All of them can essentially play that role, more so Cunningham and Morrow, but Cunningham is not great in coverage. He's more of your tackling machine. So my matchup here is who's going to be that leader, that middle linebacker of the defense, trying to stop what Kirk Cousins is doing. And is Kirk Cousins going to try to go after, the middle of the field when Zach Cunningham is in there? Ellis and Morrow, more of your coverage guys. So maybe you see more of them tomorrow. Alexander Madison wasn't doing too much. I think we can easily shut him down. So got to watch out for the passing game. Maybe, they're attacking and you don't see too much of Cunningham. We'll see how it goes. But let's shut old Kirk boy there down. Now up next at number 4, this Eagles Twin Towers here at left tackle and right tackle, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata. And, last week they struggled, but they struggled last year, and not so much Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata. So we talked about this, Matthew Judon. How are they going to come at the Eagles? This, that, the other thing. And, well, they did. And, we gave up 3 sacks last week. And, it was tough to watch, the things Mailata is still struggling with. I'm hopeful that we continue to work on things and improve. I understand that Bill Belichick is a great defensive mind. They were throwing all kinds of stuff at us. Almost blitzed us like 50% of the time. I think it was like 46% of the time. But Brian Flores last week blitzed, I think it was 53% of the time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to be coming at us, man. And Danielle Hunter, Danielle Hunter, Daniel Hunter, however you want to say it. I always say Danielle. I don't really know. But Marcus Davenport, we talked about the addition there. If he's not available, Wonum will step in. Go check that video out from earlier talking about if someone's out, who will be in. But you can see, look, we've had our struggles, but they're still one of the best offensive lines. Let's get it together. Let's shut this Minnesota defense down. And, I think Hunter is one of the most slept on edge rushers in the game. This dude can definitely get after it. So let's shut him down. Now into the top 3 here, you've got TJ Hawkinson. And look, for the Vikings here, I think a great addition. And this dude obviously is a big man. And when you've got someone like Justin Jefferson, now Jordan Addison around him, that clears things up. And one of the issues the Eagles have right now is the linebacker position. And look, we're going to use our safeties and other positions to help out here, but we're a match zone defense. But the linebacker is going to have a lot of responsibility. And the more coverage linebackers in Ellis and Morrow, as we just mentioned, are definitely going to have some responsibility here against a guy like TJ Hawkinson. Now, Hawkinson only had, I think, he had 8 catches, but he only had 35 yards. So regardless, last week, there was only, Henry had 5 catches for 56 yards, but he had that touchdown. So, look, it doesn't have to jump off the page and stat line. This dude's getting first downs, touchdowns, big body dude jumping over people. That's going to be an issue. So we're going to need our safeties, everybody. So with those safeties we talked about in the honorable mention, they're going to definitely have to be helping out here. So whoever it is, man, Edmonds, Evans, Sidney Brown, whoever it's got to be, shut him down. Now at number 2, we've got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and our trio of corners is usually the best in the game, but unfortunately, Bradbury will be out for this game. So now Josh Jobe will be stepping in. You guys know how much I love me some Josh Jobe, but clearly when you're going up against a team like the Minnesota Vikings with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison here, look, they've got KJ Osborne, and we talked about Hawkinson, so you got to watch a lot, but Jobe on the outside with Addison, that's going to be a fun one to watch. I think we try to get Slay to cover, to shadow Jefferson there, and I think that'll be okay, but you definitely are going to watch out for Addison and Jobe there. And then Maddox, whoever's inside, dude, whether he's helping with Hawkinson, whether it's Osborne, whatever he's got to do, step in there, do what you got. And, Addison actually didn't play as many reps as Osborne and Jefferson last week. I think he'll see an uptick here. They're going to come at us in the past game, and I think that's how they'll have to do it. So let's shut them down just like we did last year. Slay shutting down Jefferson, but Jobe needs to step in here and shut down Jordan Addison. Now at number 1, Jalen Hurts. Him. Now he struggled last week for sure, but I'll be honest with you, 170 passing yards, 37 rushing yards, not great, but he's still him, baby. And I still think that he's got, a lot to develop and grow here. And you saw that the offense just couldn't get clicking, whether it be offensive coordinator, the run, everything all at one, not pass protecting. You could tell it was just sloppy, no preseason together. So I'm okay with it. Last year we had some rust. Just get the rust off. But Jordan Hicks, the middle linebacker there for the Vikings, somebody who, obviously I loved when he was here with the Eagles, but he is a leader. He is somebody that's going to be, commanding that ship. So the leader of that defense, what is he going to be able to do there? Are they going to have him spying Hurts a little bit, blitzing a lot? They, again, like to blitz a lot. Now, they only allowed 169 passing yards, but it was Baker Mayfield. So we'll see, man, but you got to be able to shut down, this attack of Jalen Hurts and the rest of the weapons. So whatever they try to focus there, pick your poison. And I think that it's time for Jalen Hurts. Clearly, this is a big game. They just lost. They want to win it. But for me, I think that Hurts wants to come out here and whoop some ass. They only allowed Baker Mayfield like 11 rushing yards. This is a whole different beast for him. But again, Brian Flores and this defense, very, very aggressive. But I believe that Hurts and these guys will come out on top. Expecting a big win here tomorrow. Going to be there, bringing all the good juju I can. And as I've said before, if you're going to that game, make sure you reach out, comment on the video, whatever it may be. Let me know. Love to meet up with you guys. I'll be in Lot E, throwing it down for the first home game of the season. Let's go get that W. 2-0, baby. Let's go Birds. But I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Would love to hear your comments, how you're feeling about this game, your score predictions, what your favorite matchup is, where you think we can exploit, where they'll try to exploit, whatever is on your mind. I would love to hear it. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Hope you're all having yourselves a great week. You stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!